Good morning. It's 3:15 a.m. Let me fix this camera. I'm on my way to my favorite morning spot to adjust and get myself right for the day. As usual, the sun is not up. That's all right. Right now, I'm just gonna talk to you about how my day went yesterday. Last year, I bragged a whole lot. I think I had a picture of it. My son Silas, he won a bicycle for best attendance at school. Let me turn that one on. So this kid is 6 years old, and since he's been going to some type of formal education, he's never missed a day. Kindergarten, preschool, kindergarten, first grade, he's never missed a day. He's always been there. I don't know, I don't know how, but when he won that bike, it became a little more evident that we had a goal in mind. We had one that we wanted to establish. And I'm huge on discipline and being consistent. For me, that's a big deal. He never gets sick. He never says he doesn't want to go to school. He loves school, according to him. So yesterday, he had been sick for the last couple days, and I was just thankful to God that he got sick last Friday. So I was like, all right, we have a whole weekend. I mean, obviously he was running temperature, and we kept breaking that temperature, and he would go to school, and then he'd come home and he'd have that temperature. We'd break it again. He'd go to school, and this lasted all the way up into Friday, and we took him to the doctor, and the doctor gave him some medicine. And I said, good thing Friday's here. We can, we can rest him up and get him healed. I was almost treating it like Michael Jordan in a game. Like, we already locked down the playoffs. There's no need to get him injured. Let's go ahead and sit him down. Let's heal that, let's work on that Achilles and get him ready for the playoffs, for the, championship. So Monday comes around, and we're getting in the car, and he's throwing up in the car. And I don't know where my mind was at. I don't know where it was at. I know my wife had told me Friday she was disappointed in me for making him go to school. And I said, well, he doesn't have a fever. And I explained whether my explanation, anybody can chime in on this, because I don't know whether my reasoning was correct or not. It was what I was thinking. And it was, we don't quit unless something's broken. We don't stop unless you got something hanging off your body that needs to be reattached. He didn't have a temperature, but I respected what she said to me. She didn't say it in a vicious, malicious way. She just said it in a way like, I don't agree with this call, but it's your call. So Monday, we get him in the car, and we're a couple minutes from the school, and he starts throwing up. Pull the car over, ask him to get out. He gets out. He stops throwing up. I'm starting to think it might be motion sickness now that I think about it. And I said, let's go. He's going to be late for school. I'm still determined to get him to school. Let me fix this camera. Sorry about the shaking. I'm determined to get him to school. There we go. I say, Silas, how are you doing? He says, I'm fine. I'm thinking he just threw it up, got it out of his system. So we get him to school. Ricky where she needs to go. I'm en route to where I need to go. And I get a call 45 minutes later. Silas threw up inside of the classroom. Sorry, somebody's riding right by me. I said, okay. Ricky says, your dad's on his way to get him. I sent a message back and I said, don't pick him up out of school. Don't. And Ricky says, okay. So I call up to the school, speak with the nurse, and I say, does he have a fever? The nurse says, let me check. No, he does not have a fever. Okay. How's he doing right now? She says, well, he looks fine. Good. Do me a favor and just keep him in the nurse's office for a little while, and can you monitor him? She says, yes. All right. I'm thinking that's resolved. Mind you, I'm still trying to protect this perfect track record of not missing school. So I get a call or a message, a call from Silas's grandmother saying that Silas has been picked up and he's with my dad. I'll be very honest with you. I was ready to go to the school and let them have it for going against what I said. I was ready to go and ask my father what he thought he was doing after I had sent him a message saying, do not pick Silas up. And I was ready to let my wife have it. And when I say that I felt that I was done and I was ready to start wrecking some relationships because I felt like they did not understand what was at stake, I meant that. Called up to the school, so they were the first. As a matter of fact, I was en route to them. I was gonna go to them, and I see these people all the time because I'm at every single event that they have, and I was getting ready to go to them. I was like, doing it over the phone ain't gonna do this justice. I don't know who fucked up, who dropped the ball. Somebody's ass is on the line. I call. They patched me through to the nurse. And I don't know what it was that made me just relax and hear what she had to say. And she said, listen, I was told by your wife that his grandfather was coming to get him. I was told by his grandfather, who was here while you were on the phone with me, asking me to keep him, that he was here to get him. You guys need to figure out what the proper channels are that you want us to go through so that we can do that and not have to be in the middle and make decisions that we shouldn't have to make. A few years ago, I would have flew off the handle. See, the old me, the Jermaine in me. Not the real estate professional, not the father, not the husband, not the responsible parent, not the adult, but the Jermaine, the nigga in me, the run the streets Jermaine. I probably wouldn't have been able to show my face at that school, but I listened to this lady. And then I was like, you know what? I didn't tell her this, but I was like, okay, I understand. Thank you. Because she made sense. So I get off the phone, and I got my gun aimed at somebody else. Now I'm about to let somebody, all right, it ain't your fault. Whose fault is it? And I remember something my mentor told me. I know this video is long. What are we at, 10 minutes? It's a nice drive. Ride with me. You watch it, you watch it. You don't. Drink my tea. My cup says your situation should not change your praise, but your praise can certainly change your situation. Love this. I think it was a gift from my grandmother, for my wife. But I remember my mentor telling me his decision-making process. And he says, I never respond to an important decision without consulting 3 other people. I never respond short of 24 hours. And I never respond with my emotions. And his words were coming back to me. I said, okay. I drove for a little bit and I thought about it. And I was thinking about my wife and her role in this, because that's what I'm calling it, roles, as if it was some type of murder scene and who did what. I'm thinking about my stepmother and her role in it. I'm thinking about my dad and his role in it. I've already ruled the nurse out. She's got an alibi, so I'm not thinking about her. The school has an alibi, so I got 3 more suspects I'm getting ready to knock off. I'm riding down the street, and I'm thinking about what to say, how I'm going to let them have it, how I'm going to revoke their grandparent rights. And the more I rode, the more I gave myself time in between reactions. This video is long. I hope it's helping somebody. But the more I gave myself time in between what I thought was the truth and how I reacted to it, my perspective changed. And when I got on the phone, spoke to his grandmother, the first thing I said was, thank you for getting them. Second thing I said, how's he doing? And I made a slight mention of how I reacted and why I reacted that way. But I just left it at thank you. And moved on. And then I sent my dad a text message and I said, hey, thank you for picking up Silas, making sure he's okay. Now, my wife, on the other hand, I didn't let her off so easy. And I was still a little bit mad when I seen her later. But that anger quickly subsided because she made the best decision as his mother on what to do. And me and her ain't built the same, but our love for him is the same. What I see nowadays is people's inability to take time and think and put things in a proper perspective. And the reaction is always a gut reaction. It's always a impulse reaction. It's never a thought out perspective reaction with an angle of, this looks like the street, of what's the best way that I can handle this. When you start learning how to do that, which is, it's very hard, because I mean, we're people naturally. We're gonna spaz out, flip out. What you do to me, how dare you, you piece of, this and that, and I hate you, and all that other good stuff. But if you just give yourself a little bit of time in between to think about it, and I'm probably not speaking to somebody 18, 19, 20, 25, 20. I'm probably not speaking to you, because your ass don't know no damn better no way. You ain't lived long enough to figure it out. But if you just can get it, dude, I was on the verge of creating a problem that did not need to be there. It was unnecessary, and it would have been 100% driven by my emotions and not fact, not reality, not the perspective. It would have been built around my warped vision of how I thought things should have been, when in reality, I didn't react at all. I called the nurse and I asked her to do something, but that was after the fact. And we can always blame somebody. I mean, eventually I had to just get to the point, and I said, well, I guess he missed his first official day. Let's go ahead and mark this one down in the calendar. I wrote it in my journal. Silas missed his first day. It's monumental. And when I seen Silas later, when we went to go pick them up, because my daughter was there too, he ran up and he hugged me. And I knew that he thought I felt a certain way about him not being at school. He knows. And I knew that he was trying to comfort me. He was trying to comfort me, almost to say, hey man, we made a good run at it. But listen, I needed that time off, because I just wasn't right. And you never know how much you give into your kids until you find yourself in a situation that you can't explain. And they make total sense of it by just simply giving you a hug and a look that says, I understand.